friends. Your favorite besties are back for another episode of No Ma'am. I'm your host, Willie Will, and this is my co-host.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Mail.
All right, friends, so start your camels and hydrate your edges because we are back for another leg of the amazing race. This time, the teams are sprinting through Dubai. We have sand dunes, skyscrapers, and a nail-biting detour and a race to the mat to find Phil. But don't worry, we're breaking it down all for you. So, friends, just in case you are just joining us for the recap, right? Last leg, we had 9 teams racing through Indonesia with a live U turn vote that had two of this season's most controversial teams, Scott and Lori, and Jonathan and Anna, racing to stay in the competition. Although our faves, Mark and Brett, shout out to Mark and Brett, right, were able to finish first, Scott and Lori were unfortunately eliminated. And I did not have their elimination on my bingo card. I said that the last episode, but I really did not, like, in my heart of hearts, did not believe that Scott and Lori was going to get eliminated.
No, I really thought they were still gonna somehow end up in the top 10. Like I fully thought that. I was like, oh, they're struggling, but it's Scott and Laurie. Like they got it. Like they'll be fine. They'll catch up. And then
Right.
at the end, when it really was down to last, I'm like, well, he's about to catch up. Like he's almost
Yes.
gonna catch up. And then they never did, and I was so sad.
No. You know what I also was thinking, where I like and I said this on the last recap, right? When we talked about the Express Pass and Jonathan and Anna like burning the Express Pass. I was like, you know what? This might have been a really great opportunity for them to use the Express Pass and
Hmm.
not burn it the last leg that they did. Because using the Express Pass that early without even like looking at the roadblock and seeing it, I thought that was a big no, ma'am. Like that they should never do that.
Yeah, she didn't even attempt it. She was just like, nope, that
Yes,
was stupid.
but they're not like, Jessica and John from season 22 who were eliminated in Lake Four and they never used their express pass. And fun fact, that leg was also in Bali. So there may be something about the Bali legs that if you have an express pass, I think you might need to use it in Indonesia.
They might be cursed.
I don't know. I'm just saying, right? So for this leg, the teams need to fly to from Bali, Indonesia to Dubai, which is in the United Arab Emirates. And for this leg, we get introduced to an Amazing Race favorite, or I would like to say an Amazing Race classic, the Fast Forward, which allows teams, whoever wins, right, to skip all the tasks and go straight to the pit stop. Now, although Mark and Brett are in the front, they realize that this is going to be like a great equalizer, right? Because everybody's going to meet them at the airport, and that's the great thing about the Amazing Race is that sometimes you never know like when you're going to be like in the front, and when you are in the front, you never know how big of a lead you have. So you always need to ensure that you do everything in your power to keep it up. But what I found to be really interesting is that Jack and Carson are realizing that although they've been in the top consistently throughout many of the legs, they don't necessarily have a target on their back.
Yeah, that I mean, I think I mentioned that I don't remember if I mentioned in the last episode. I know we've talked about it. But like them not receiving a single vote was like flabbergasting to me because I'm like like maybe they haven't seen it, maybe they were too distracted on the other teams that they it just kind of slipped their minds. But like I honestly I love them and I want them to continue to succeed and I want them in the finale with Brett and Mark. But I would have voted for that because like they've been a really consistent team. Like, and if I'm trying to win $1 million, baby, you got to be putting it back.
I mean, I have to give it to Jack and Carson. They have the social game on lock because
They
for
do.
them to be that strong of a team and not receive not one of the votes for the live U-turn is
Hmm.
crazy to me. But then I guess that goes to show you how much of a controversial like team Jonathan and Anna and Scott and Lori were because they overshadowed. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I still don't get why Nick and Mike got one, honestly. But
yeah, that was so random.
well, why I mean, why they did get one, but like, yeah, I don't know. But it is
Yes.
what it is.
That's true. Yeah. And then, you know what I found really funny throughout this whole, like, when we were seeing that the teams, oh, they're reading a clue and they're going to the airport, was with Han and Holden. And Han was like, oh my God, great. Like, she's like, oh, the Middle East. We finally made it out of Asia.
And
Mind
he's
you,
like,
the Middle East is in Asia.
and then he's like, it isn't Asia. He's like, it's Western Asia. She's like,
She's like, you know what I mean? Like,
ah.
I was like, when she said that, I was like, am I missing something? Like, is the Middle East not in Asia?
Yeah, I don't know. She was confused, but it's okay. they're from the US, so like we know that education's not that great here, especially when it comes to geography. So we don't
This
blame you,
is
girl. We don't
this is
blame you.
true. I mean, the Gulf of America and the Gulf of Mexico. Just saying. Just saying. But then we also see that Jonathan and Anna, they're still upset at the double U-turn vote, but they're really upset at one team in particular, and that's Jack and Carson. But
Mhm.
just like we say on our, drag race recaps, this is not RuPaul's best friend race, and the amazing race is not the amazing best friend race. So, I mean, I didn't get it.
I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, like it's not personal, girl. Like it's the game, it's the name of the game. Like at the end of the day, they had to vote for someone. Like I said, it's $1 million. Like I'm gonna throw anyone under the bus, no matter how much I like them. Like I'm gonna do what I need to do to get ahead. So I kind of understand that. Yes, they were upset, and that's very valid. But like, this is what you signed up for. You Yes, you can make friendships and whatever, but at the end of the day, there's only going to be one pair of you that wins. So those ties
That's
got to be
also
broken
true.
sometimes.
Yes. But what I'm like, I love a team that stands on Petty. And Jonathan and Anna was standing on Petty. They went into that airport lounge and all the teams was there and Jack and Carson came
Attention,
up
bitch.
and was like, hey, we're sorry. They were like, mm-hmm.
Attention, bitch. I was like, ooh,
I
you
loved
could
it.
cut that. You could cut that with like a plastic knife. Like, ooh,
It was so good. It was so
yeah,
good. Like Anna was like, I said what I said. Like
yeah.
that, it was so good. I was
That's
like,
the
shout out
TV
to
we
Anna
live for.
because I was like, this is some good TV. They were both petty. Jonathan was not having it. He was over it. I think he saw them and was like, okay, when they went to go say like they're sorry. And he looked at them like, okay. And then walked away. And then Anna was like, I said what I said. Like it hurt us. And so if you thought we was gonna get U-turns anyway, why you just didn't go with somebody else? Like,
And I think they said even when in the previous episode that they purposely put them to better their chances because they thought they were going to be voted. So to better their chances and not being voted, they went with the obvious one, which is I feel like something they could have explained. Like, hey, we thought we were going to get voted in, so we wanted to secure our safety, and we threw you under the bus to save ourselves. Because I feel like that would have made more sense than just kind of being like, well,
I don't know, right? Like
like,
stand on it. You voted them
yeah.
in for the live U-turn. They're here, right? Like stand on it. It's okay. You thought they were a strong team. You wanted them gone. You wanted to get the heat off of you, so you threw them in.
And that's
That's
totally fine. That's
totally fine.
totally fine. Yeah. Um,
I don't know.
you know,
Sometimes the
you know how
girls,
we
there was
always
a,
say,
it's a missed
how we
opportunity
always
for the girls.
yeah, how we always say with when on like even on the Drag Race recaps, like if you're gonna be the villain, girl, be the villain. Own it up.
Right.
Not that they're
Right.
villains, but own up your decisions. Own your choices and stand on it. But
Right. I'm just like, stand on it. Like, if you're gonna vote with the group because you want the heat off of you, then just vote with the group. Like, that's it. Just stand on it. So, but
but
they
I do get
didn't.
it because I get they're trying to like not have that team turn against them because that is not a team you want coming after you because they are a strong team. So if they manage to get in the front, the next time there's a U-turn, they're gonna be put up. So I get they're trying to like kind of mitigate things and be like, hey,
Yeah.
don't kill us, please.
Yeah. I just wish it was just a missed opportunity for Jack and Carson to just have like a shady rebuttal. Like,
But
it
that
was just a
also
missed
doesn't,
opportunity for them.
to me, that just doesn't feel like them either, though. Like, I would kind of expect that from other teams. They
Yeah.
just seem so, like, nice, and, like, genuine that I feel like, not that the other teams are just joining, but, like, I just feel like that's not them. Like, I don't see them as confrontational.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I can see that. Now that you put that up, that's a good point for Jack and Carson. So, once they get out the desert, right, the teams now need to take a taxi to a Bedouin camp and then at the camp, they get the times for the next day. Okay. I just want to talk about the comedic gold that is Mark and Brett. Okay. And I have been living for this moment ever since last week's episode has premiered and went on, and I keep seeing the memes and this little clips being replayed. So, while in the taxi, Mark asks the driver, what's your favorite part of Dubai? And the taxi driver goes, the Burj Khalifa. So Brett goes, Wiz Khalifa, right? And then laughs, right? And then Mark goes, what does Wiz Khalifa have to do with Dubai? Right? And then the guy goes, and then so they look over, obviously the camera pans to the tower, and they go, oh, this big tower is called Wiz Khalifa. That's cool. It's the that's cool that has been sending me since this aired. It was they both had this passive level of approval for me that that building, that tower is called Wiz Khalifa.
Lord. I mean, yes, that was funny. I just found it really funny how, girl, who the fuck does not know what the Burj Khalifa is?
Honestly, Brett and Mark,
Girl, that's like, hello, tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa. Where is it?
Dubai,
Yeah, Dubai. I was about to say Abu Dhabi. I don't know why.
which is the capital of
Oh, yeah,
yeah. So
girl. The United States education system has failed us. Public
clearly,
school has failed us, girl.
clearly that he thought the Burj Khalifa was Wiz
The Wiz
Khalifa.
Khalifa.
I just thought that was so funny. It was that's cool because they were like, what? It was the passive approval for me, which it was like they're not even gonna question a taxi driver. They're like, whatever, like, yeah, sure.
I
And
guess.
they were so genuine with their not knowing that this building was called the Wiz Khalifa, was the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, I do actually. There's one thing. So I want to commend both kind of like Brett and Mark and Carson and Jack on running that race, on running that leg because it was in Dubai, which as we know is not a really LGBTQ friendly place at all. Like at all. And they did not let that bother them. They were still themselves. They ran that race and they killed it. So I love seeing that. I do kind of wish it maybe had been brought up a little because I know they have done it in previous seasons when they have like queer teams running legs in countries that are not LGBT friendly. I think they did it last season. No.
No, I mean they did it with Tyler and Corey in
Yeah.
the Tanzania, right? Like the African legs, they did it in there. The Uganda leg, in which Tyler and Corey actually won that leg, and so
Yeah.
it was good. And they had an emotional, like cathartic moment when they did it. So yes, there is moments in which they go to countries that are not as queer friendly. Right? Or have laws that are condemning the queer community. And so, yes, they do it. I don't think Dubai is us. No, I mean, maybe.
No, I think they still stone people to death for it, don't they?
I mean, don't quote us, but maybe.
Don't
But there
remember
there
the
is a
US
lot of
the US system failed us. The
there
US
is a lot of
education system failed
expats that
us.
do go to Dubai though, right? I know that they're not as
Immigrants.
progressive, right? I know they're not as progressive as people make them seem to be, right? Because there is some elements you can't run in the airport, right? You can't wear but so much. I guess there's some things in Dubai that you can't do, and I've learned that from watching The Real Housewives of Dubai. But it's certain parts in which you can, right? Like they're like, oh, we're Eastern, Western, Westernized, if you want to call it. And then there's some parts that are still very like, no, you can't do but so much. So, but I agree. And so when they get to the camp, we see that Han and Holden, oh, Han and Holden,
And
excuse me, I don't know where I got a hand from. Han and Holden, Jonathan and Anna, Jack and Carson, Alyssa and Josiah, they arrive first and they get a 5:10 departure time, which leaves Melinda and Erica, Pops and Jeff, Nick and Mike, and Mark and Brett with the 5:20 departure. So the next day, the teams depart in obviously the two teams, right? So the group of 5:10 and the group of 5:20. And then they have to ride a camel to the next clue. Now, I don't know about you, but I just always felt like riding a camel is so disrespectful to the camel.
I mean that's with any animal, girl. Have you never ridden a camel before?
No, I don't like to be off of the ground. Like, for being honest, I don't like to be off of the ground.
I love being off the ground, bitch. Like
Like, no,
skydiving, bungee jumping, parasailing, like all that stuff, bitch. I love that shit. Roller coasters,
no, no, I don't like
like
being off the ground. No.
I love my legs being up in the air. But I do feel bad for camels though, because like two people and the bags, like, ooh, girl. But
I just felt bad for the camels. I don't know why. Not to say that any of the teams were like heavy and they couldn't handle the weight.
these call
I
them
just
fat.
always,
You
I
call them
just felt,
fat. You're body
I just
shaming them.
Oh my gosh, I'm not body shaming anyone, but I just always just felt bad for the camels,
Oh
especially
yeah.
that initial like lift off when the camels got up. I obviously I know the camels are strong enough to like support because they wouldn't be doing it if they couldn't. But in my head, I was just like, I just went to PETA, like, oh my God, PETA, like what's happening right now? Like we
Oh
need
girl,
to
you know
feel bad
PETA
for the
hates the amazing race.
Yes, but at the roadblock, we find out that one person on the team needs to skydive into Dubai, right? In a roadblock that they're calling Who Wants to Drop into Dubai? Literally, like literally dropping into Dubai. And then right? They have to, once they're back with their partners, they have to decide if they want to go towards the fast forward. Now, skydiving is not a part of my bucket list. It is not something I want to do. I do not find the need to want to jump out of a plane. I don't even like being on a plane, so let alone want to jump off of one.
I really want to. I really want to jump off of a plane. I really wanted to do it when I went to Hawaii, but none of the people that were with me wanted to do it. And I was not about to do it by myself, girl. No. But I was like, I really, really want to go skydiving. My God, we should have a no ma'am skydiving trip. And you should join us.
You're the only one that's going to do it.
You
So,
can be on the
come,
you can be on the ground recording.
listen, friends, listen. If y'all want to join Jhoany in the air, 30,000 feet to
It's not that high.
skydive,
It's not that
whatever,
high.
how many thousands of feet you're in the air to skydive, please drop a comment, send us a DM. We'll do another giveaway. How about that? And it'll be like, who wants to go skydiving with Jhoany?
In New York.
What's it,
It's how many feet did you say?
I said 30,000 because that's when the plane go.
Okay. It's 10,000.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's even
Yeah.
worse.
It's less.
No, in my head, I'm up high. I feel like if you're going to sky, I feel like that's too close from the ground.
Bitch, the higher you go, you're not gonna be able to breathe. Like
Like,
you can't have an open plane at 30,000 feet.
oh, listen, that's the Lord telling you you
There's no
shouldn't be up.
oxygen up there.
Anyways,
I want to go
no.
skydiving. Anybody want to
But
join me? Come
yes,
join me.
if you want to join, that's gonna be the next giveaway. We're gonna go skydiving, and by we, I mean Jhoany, because I'm not doing that. I will be there on the ground taking a nice photo when you get down on the grass. I got you, but I'm not going up there.
Oop.
Okay, so in group one, we have Jack, Holden, Alyssa, and Anna, and they're jumping in that order. And then what I do want to take note of and just mention was speaking of Alyssa. So Alyssa's in the air and she's waiting to
That was
drop.
so cute. Yeah.
Yes. And she's having the time of her life in the sky, and Josiah is crying.
He was crying. I find that so adorable. Like it's about to make me tear up. But like I know I've mentioned this before, where like I hate when couples fight on The Amazing Race. But I find it very endearing when it's the complete opposite. And Alyssa and Josiah are that. Like I know in that challenge that they had where they were throwing atoms, neither of them got upset. They just both like calmed down. They're like, all right, let's think about this. Do we want to move on? Do we want to stay here? While other teams were like fighting, like full on just arguing loudly. And then seeing him cry while she's in the airplane, like I don't know, that it was so heartwarming. Find yourself a Josiah, ladies. Do not settle for anything less than a Josiah.
Yes, it was so nice, and
It
he
was.
loved that for her. Like he just loved to see her live out like her dreams, and I just thought that was so cute. Like you can tell that they genuinely love each other,
Mhm.
and that was amazing. She was in the air talking about Josiah. Thank you for letting me do this, and he's on the ground like I just want
Josiah's
her to
like
come back,
crying.
like crying, like bawling. So shout out
Well,
to
he
Alyssa
wasn't
and
like
Josiah because
falling, but
no,
he
he was
was he
bawling.
was
No, he was bawling. He was bawling. He
he
was.
was.
He was like, "Oh my God, I can't even talk right now." He's like, "I
Yeah.
don't know why." And he even said he was like, "I don't know why I'm like this. Like, I know she's okay." And yeah, but it was so cute to the point where Jeff even had to say, "I know that feeling. It was the most beautiful thing for me to see," because he's been with his wife since they were
Yeah.
17, and so I just thought it was a really great moment for the two of them. But once all the teams get in group one, get back down, we see that Han and Holden and Jack and Carson, they decide to go for the fast forward. But in the end, Jack and Carson find the orange luxury car, and so they were able to be the only team to take on the fast forward. Now, at the fast forward, it's another thing that is not on my bucket list, and this is
Yeah.
deep dive Dubai. And so they have to go, and that shit, that swimming pool is deep as fuck.
Yeah, no, honestly, that one did give me like just watching it on screen, like when they panned out to the pool and how deep it was, that gave me shivers. Do I
Yes.
want to go scuba diving? Yes. Do I want to go scuba diving that deep? No, no, no.
No.
That was like so deep, so dark. Like I don't know. I literally got like chills now. Like oh, like
Yes.
they got some
It's like,
cojones because
what did they say? It was like 6 football fields deep, they said?
something like that. I just know it was like the deepest like diving pool in the world, I think, or something like that.
It is, yes. Yeah.
Right?
It's where I've seen a YouTube like video where like this scuba diver goes all the way to the bottom.
That's terrifying.
Yes. And it gets
It
dark.
is
Obviously when it's
terrifying. I
down there
know, yeah, because there's no
it's like a
light.
whole city, it's like a whole thing, but it's
But they
crazy
did
down there.
they didn't go into the actual like tunnel part. They just stayed on like the shallow end. And
Yes.
that even then was like really
That was
deep.
so deep. Yes. But in the end, they complete their fast forwards, and so they were able to skip all the challenges and go directly to the mat, which makes Jack and Carson winning this leg. Now, in group two, we have Brett, Nick, Pops, and Melinda, and they jump in that order. And I just love that any chance that Brett gets, Brett is going to give you some angles. Okay. Brett is going to give you some angles. Brett is going to give you some Cirque du Soleil like poses. Brett is going to make sure that he's going to let you know that he is from Vegas. And those lines, listen, Brett was fully perpendicular.
Yeah, he as he was landing, like he was like,
I
"I'm gonna
was
land
like,
inside
come
of
on.
bitches."
Yes, like, come on with these angles. But okay, once all the teams are back with their, like, once all the partners are back with their teams, they have to now race to Atlantis, the Royal. And did you know that this was the hotel that Beyonce performed in for the grand opening?
I don't know what the fuck that was.
First of all, okay, that's disrespectful. Second of all, she performed this for the grand opening in Dubai, and she did her iconic "Drunken Love" riff.
Oh, it was that one. Okay, okay, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
she's
Never mind,
up
never
in
mind.
the air and she did it, and
Yeah,
then that was like a whole like TikTok sensation. Everybody else was doing it. It was like the Drunken Love
yeah.
challenge, and they had to do that same like vocal note that she did at the end. Yes, this was at the Atlantis de Royal. But for this, it's not we technically didn't get a detour for this leg. We got another kind of like route info, which is like a challenge, I guess. And so this route info was called Tea Time, in which the teams need to decorate pastries following the provided examples, to which then the chef would grade their work. Can we just talk about how fine that chef was?
A French guy. Ooh, I forgot what his name was. But yeah, the chef man was fine. Like, I need me a French guy like that.
And could you also talk about how shady he was?
You, ooh, when was it? I think it was Melinda when when
Yes,
they're like, "Oh, we're done." And he was like,
yes. That side eye was so good. That side
"Yeah,
eye was perfect. We text each other like, "Did you see that side eye? Did you see
yep."
them?"
He
Like
was so
that
shady.
side
I lived
eye.
for it. I lived for it.
Yes. But I think for this particular like challenge, it really was a divide and conquer, right? I think the team should have used it as an assembly line, and we talked about this. We were like, one of us would have done like the heavy lifting with like the piping, and the other one would have went with all the small details because that's how pastry chefs. That's how they work.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know people are gonna think I am BSing at this point. I used to bake cakes, so I know like about decorating. Like I used to do like huge like special event cakes. So the way some of these men were grabbing these fucking piping bags was giving me such ick. I was like, oh my God, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I forgot who it was that was just like grabbing it like this, and I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? That's not how
Mark,
you hold a piping bag. Was it Mark? Might have
yes.
been Mark.
And he
I
was
don't
like,
remember.
"Why
I
is
just
Mark manhandling this piping bag?" And I was
yes,
like, "Well,
and
that's
then at
very
the
top of him.
it was very top of him.
Very top of him."
And there was also another one. Was it? I think it might have been Nick and Mike. The way they were, was it them? I don't remember. But the man handling the flowers. I'm like, no, that's why you got the tweezers. Like, and they were like, and just like plopping them on. I'm like, oh my God, what
Yes,
are you doing?
yes. It was a
That challenge
moment.
gave me so much anxiety watching them try to decorate that, just manhandling everything. I'm like, no, use the tweezers, apply
Yeah.
light pressure. Like, oof, yeah.
Yes. I mean, but for the most part, the teams did a fairly decent job. The first teams that was out of that challenge was Alyssa and Josiah, and then they needed to head to the beach to complete another roadblock. So for this leg, we have two roadblocks and one route info. And so the roadblock consists of teams needing to surfboard. I guess it was kind of using like this automatic
It
surfboard.
wasn't.
It
I
was like a
forgot what
little
the name of
small
it
one. It was like
was.
a mini one, right?
It's not called surfing. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, that whatever that thing was,
Yes. Was it like a boogie board?
not a boogie board.
Okay. Mhm. But for the most part, the teams did struggle with this roadblock,
Oh,
though.
I guess they are calling it a surfboard. I don't think it is called a surfboard. I don't know because I saw somebody doing it on TikTok a couple years ago. I forgot what they called it. It was not a surfboard though. Mm.
But anyways, it looked like a surfboard. So for this purpose of this recap, we're just gonna call it a surfboard.
Yeah, but as soon as we saw it, we knew Han. That was her challenge. Like
Legit.
we were like, oh, this was made for Han. Like I surfing or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone looked at the roadblock and was like, "Oh shit!" And she was like, "Can I go? Can I?
I
Can
think she practiced like one time and she's like, so can I go?
Can I go now? Like, can I do it now? And so it's so funny to me because the instructor was like, "Hey, you don't fall forward." He said, "Fall on the side. Don't fall forward and don't fall in the back." Everyone was falling forward. I was like, what the guy literally just said,
If you
"Do
try to
not
chop your
fall
heads
forward."
off,
And so everyone did fairly well. I mean, Jeff did decide to go in the water with his shoes on, and I was like,
that
"Child,
mm,
child, Jeff."
my my sensory issues would not have allowed that. Like I hate wet socks or wet shoes or just my feet feeling wet in general. That would have like set me over the edge. Like I don't know, I would not have been able to do that. And like it's not even like they were like water resistant shoes, or at least that they appeared to be. They look like shoes that would have absolutely been super soaked.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, ooh, I couldn't.
Um, Yes. But so in the end, we see, right, that we have two teams fighting for the last spot at the mat. And that was Pops and Jeff and Nick and Mike. And when I tell you this was such a nail-biting race to the mat, it was crazy.
It was like I was like, oh my God, oh my. First of all, I didn't want either team to go home.
Yeah.
Like the eye candies, no, please. Can we talk about Pops and that body? Anyway, yeah, no, it was literally a foot race. I felt so bad for Pops and Jeff for that one mistake that cost them
Yeah.
the race. Because
Yes.
if they had just hopped in that train, they would have
Yeah.
been saved.
Yes. And I mean, for context, if you didn't watch the episode, there was a moment in which Pops and Jeff made it to the train first and they got confused with the platform numbers. And so, yes, it was only one platform, but for some reason they thought it was a different one. And so they could have gotten on that first train and they didn't, which allowed Nick and Mike to catch up to them.
Yeah, and they ended up on the
Um,
same train, and then they just ended up outrunning them at the end.
yes, but can we talk about like the inhaler? I was like, oh my God.
Preparing, he's like, yo, you have your inhaler, you ready, you got your bag, like, and then just like, yeah, they were like ready. That
That was
upset me,
such a
like,
big brother to like little brother moment. Was like, are you okay? Like, I want to make sure that like I prepare you for this race.
yeah,
That's how I was like, Nick
honest,
and Mike is such brothers. Like, that was such a cute
yeah,
moment
fuck
though.
it. Honestly, if I were Naked Mike, I probably would have fully like broke down as soon as I reached that mat. Like, I think I would have just bawled my eyes out, like, oh my God. Especially with
Yes.
how literally they were like
Yeah.
feet away.
Yes. Yes. But unfortunately, right, Nick and Mike is the ones that made it to the mat, and Pops and
Well, not
Jeff were
unfortunately.
well,
Unfortunately for
well,
Pops and Jeff, yes.
yes. And Pops and Jeff unfortunately did not make it to the mat, and so they were eliminated. And it was really sad because like Jeff was speeding. Jeff was gone. And obviously he for like to me it looks like he forgot that his father was like 60 something years old. And so
Even
yes,
though he don't
like
look it.
yes, Pops looks really good for his age. He's still an old man, and we gotta have to give him credit that he did do some things in which he said that he probably would have never done, right? He jumped out of a plane. He was racing across the world. And so I just love that this team in particular was on the Amazing Race because I love the representation. You know, obviously we created No Man for representation, right, from the queer perspective, but I think seeing two African American men on a show like The Amazing Race doing this together, like dad and son, and the relationship that those two have, I just thought it was an amazing thing to see because we often don't see that.
Mhm.
And I just love that the Amazing Race did that for us. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that and just even his age, like I know typically a lot of older people will come in the Amazing Race, and even as we saw in the beginning of the season, like they'll struggle immensely and get eliminated pretty early on. So the fact that he was able to keep up with a lot of these younglings was really great to see. Again, a lot for representation. And they were just I just found them really endearing and heartwarming. I really like that team.
No, they were really good. They were really genuine.
Yeah,
They were nice people. And it was just sad to see them go. So,
it was. But if you guys need any consolation, we can take a trip to Paris and we can visit the Eiffel Tower, if you know what I mean. Just let me know. Just so you know.
first of all,
I'm just putting it out there, Pops and Jeff. Big Jeff, Little
they're
Jeff.
married. They're married. It's
So,
not happening. It's not
so
happening.
girl, let me live my
Calm
French
down.
vanilla fantasy.
Calm down. I mean, calm down. Anyway, so who is winning the Amazing Race season 37? I know.
I think. Can I say who I think the final four teams will be?
No, I need to know who's winning the Amazing Race season 37.
That's hard. I think Carson and Jack,
Same.
I could see them
I think
winning.
it's
They've been very
yes,
consistent. I hope they don't falter because they can make a mistake that will cost them. Like we see it all the time. Like great teams make a
yes,
stupid, silly mistake,
yep,
go the wrong direction, take the wrong cab, whatever it is, and
yep,
then I'm going home,
yes,
take the wrong turn. And what was that last season? Right? Yeah, when they lost
yes.
their camera team. So we know anything can happen.
Danny, Danny and his
Yeah.
mom. We like them.
Although I feel like if Brett and Mark don't make any more mistakes or get handed any more unlucky cards, they're a pretty good contender too. But
Well,
we've seen
listen,
they've
we
had
have
some really
a.
bad luck.
This is true, but we also have another W turn coming
I
up in
know.
this
It's
episode. So, I mean,
if
you
y'all
never know.
eliminate the gays, it's homophobic.
All I have to say.
That's all
But
I'm
now,
saying.
friends, right? So, friends, who do you think is winning The Amazing Race season 37? Comment below. Let us
Wait,
know what you think. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, but you said Carson Jackson. Never mind.
Yeah, Carson and Jack, fully. Yes. And then second is Brett and Mark. Yeah.
I think,
So, yeah,
sorry, Alyssa and Josiah.
third. Good
But then they also
third.
have, but also Jonathan and Anna are really good. Damn,
Good
this is fucking
fourth.
hard.
They're good fourth place.
And
I
I'm
love
surprised
Jonathan
by
and
Hannah
Anna.
and
But
Holden
I love,
now.
I mean,
Because I
they
hadn't,
fan
but
favorites.
lately they've been stepping it up. Like, okay,
I think it's
anyway.
fifth. I think it's fifth. But okay, so friends, I got a couple of questions. Who do you think is winning The Amazing Race season 37? Comment below. Let us know what you think. We'd love interacting with y'all. It was the funnest thing to do. And then also, do you think Jack and Target, Jack and Carson? Do
Not
you think
not
Jack?
Target girl.
No, my God, not Target. But do you think Jack and Carson are putting a target on their backs? They just won the fast forward, so who knows? And so drop those comments, and guess what? We'll read a few on our next Amazing Race recap. So drop your comments below. Hit us up on Instagram at No Ma'am the podcast. Let us know hashtag obviously No Ma'am, but the No Ma'am race or whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll workshop some things, but just hashtag it like No Ma'am, and yes, and CCS. And by CCS I mean
ACS.
add us.
This could have been an email.
This could have been an email, but yes, we really want to know. But if you enjoyed the laughs, if you enjoyed the shade, and if we had you saying no ma'am, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a single episode. Like I said, follow us on Instagram at no ma'am the podcast. You may actually see some of your comments show up on a feed. You never know. And if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or Radio Podcasts, make sure you like and rate us 5 stars. And as always, we'll have you saying no ma'am in no time. Bye.